I'm Paul Dunn, and welcome to Share a Story. And I'm going to continue telling you the untold stories of a water dragon by Carmen Kardashian. Excited by her own creation, the water dragon went to find her friend Paul to show him the new look of the cave. "Paul, come quickly! You must see this!"
"Young lady, I'm ready to hibernate, as I am old and tired. You should do the same," replied Paul in a grumpy voice.
"Oh, please, you are not old. Your claws are still strong, and you look the same as you did when I came out of my egg and met you for the first time," replied Nessie, chuckling.
"I am an old veteran of these waters, and have been in countless battles with many territorial crabs. I've broken enough fishing nets with these powerful claws, just trying to escape being turned into some lobster bisque by some greedy humans, and right now I would like to get ready for a long sleep. My shell and my claws need a rest."
"Oh, come on, Paul. I have a little surprise for you. Something you haven't seen before."
"How do you know I haven't seen it before? I have been around this loch since the great tornado took my family, your parents, and half the water with it."
"Please, please, please," pleaded Nessie. Finally, Paul gave in and followed Nessie to the cave. "Ta-da!" she exclaimed with delight. Paul's strong jaw opened in a total state of perplexity. For a while, he couldn't speak or even move. Slowly, he regained his posture and took a closer look all around him and exclaimed in wonder,
"I'm almost as old as time, but I have never seen anything so beautiful in my whole crustacean life." "Your mother would have been very proud of you, Nessie, if she could have seen what you have created. I remember this oyster. It's been here in the loch since long before you were born. It was a gift from your mother, so you would never be scared of the dark."
"I know, Paul, and I treasure it," replied Nessie. Attracted by the glow of the tube worms and the silver pearl, all of Nessie's aquatic friends went to the cave one by one. Some of them swam, and others crawled along the loch's floor. They all reacted as Paul did, with pure astonishment and delight. After that, Nessie taught them some songs she had heard in the summer when the Highland Games took place, and even danced for them her own version of the ceilidh. Everybody was happy, and all were singing and swimming with joy. Paul looked at Nessie and said, "Winter will never be boring again. I hated the world above water, as humans fish for us in their big nets and eat us. I heard my friends screaming as they were thrown into big pots of boiling water. For me, the world on the land was mean and ugly. You proved to this old lobster that it also has good points and can be very beautiful. Tonight, you made it possible to unite these two worlds, so different, but in many ways so alike," said Paul in a very grateful voice. "I'm glad you opened your mind, Paul. There is good and bad in our world too, prey and predators, weak and strong. You told me so many stories when I was no bigger than an alligator about how vicious our world can be. And you taught me how to be careful and avoid the urchin's needles, as they are so full of venom, and not to go near those poisonous cone snails should I ever dare to venture away from the loch and into the sea. I thank you with all my heart for all the knowledge you passed on to me. You will always be my wise tutor and friend. I think you should know I have made some great friends from the glen, and I love them as much as I love you, my dear old friend. From now on, the cave will never be dark. We will keep the tree and its decorations all the time, especially the magnificent oyster. Now, let's have some fun, said Nessie, smiling. Above the loch, powerful wind gusted and swept over the glen, bringing massive destruction in its path. Everything was frozen solid. This year, the winter was merciless. Many deer, young and old, lost their lives. Only the strongest survived. Some farms were ripped apart by the blizzards, and many farm animals that were left without shelter died. By the time February was over, the glen and its surroundings were reduced to an almost uncultivated wilderness. Down at the bottom of the loch, Nessie had no idea of what was going on above. She couldn't wait to meet up with her friends and tell them about her aquatic Christmas tree that she had created and all the fun she had had with them. She was eager to hear how Kieran, Kiri, Rona, Lutzer, and the rest of the animals had spent their Christmas and what presents they had received. As March came, winter had its turning point. Slowly, light started to win over darkness, and the ice melted on the loch. Nessie swam up to the surface of the loch every morning, but none of her friends came, and that started to worry her. One morning, she heard Kieran's bark, and she shot up to the surface. "Kieran, I'm so happy to see you, my friend. I've been waiting every morning for the past week. Why are you alone?" "Hi, Nessie. It is so good to see you. It has been a very hard winter, with lots of killer blizzards. The barn has been destroyed. Many animals lost their lives. Kiri is well, but Rona is injured and cannot walk properly. One of her legs could be broken, and my master has put it in bandages for now until the vet can come to examine her. Luna has been sold to another farm in a nearby village, as the farmer needs lots of money to help Rona. Only 6 other sheep and Rona survived, along with 5 chickens and the old cockerel. Oyster, the donkey, died not long ago. The farmer is distraught, as he has lost almost everything." Nessie was listening, horrified at what had happened to her beloved friends. "Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear all this, Kieran. Is there anything I can do? Can I help in any way?" asked a very worried and concerned Nessie. "Thank you, Nessie. I don't think there is anything that anybody can do. Perhaps the farmer will win some money from a lucky star and will be able to rebuild the farm and buy Lutzer back, along with another flock and more chickens. Right now, I hope he has enough money to call the bet for Rona's leg. I have to go back, Nessie, but I will come back with more news in a few days' time. Take care, Kieran, and give my love to Rona and Kiri. Please come back, hopefully with some good news." Nessie went down into her sparkling cave and spent some time alone. She was deeply upset about Lutzer being sent to another farm and worried that she would never see her again. The news about Rona being hurt brought tears to her eyes. She wouldn't eat or sleep at all. Paul, her friend, noticed all these sudden changes in Nessie. He hated to see her like this. He tried talking to her, but Nessie preferred her own company, thinking about how she could help her friends. One day, Paul couldn't bear it any longer. Nessie was so unhappy, he decided to go into her cave to talk.
Now listen up, young lady. I want to know what's troubling you. I have watched you grow from a baby, and I have looked after you ever since you came out of your egg. I'm not leaving until you tell me everything.
In tears, Nessie told the lobster everything about the winter disaster that had befallen the farm and her friends on land.
I see. You must care a lot about your friends up on the glen to be so distressed. I want to tell you a secret, Nessie. You know, I've never liked the people on the dry land, particularly how the humans hunt all of us in the loch, especially those mussels, which just happen to be a favourite food of mine, too.
Of course I know, Paul, Nessie agreed. The whole loch knows how you feel about humans. That is no secret.
Well, I will tell you something you don't know. Humans, apart from fishing for us, dive deep into the waters to collect oysters.
Oysters? Do they eat those too? Nessie asked.
Yes, but they do not collect them only for eating. Some oysters have a shiny pearl inside, like the one you have up in the tree. For humans, pearls are worth a lot of money, as it takes many years for a pearl to grow inside an oyster. The bigger the pearl, the more money they will make.
Within seconds, Nessie understood what Paul was trying to say. "You are the best friend in the world," she exclaimed. "I know exactly what to do now," she added, after giving a big kiss to her favourite lobster. Well, that's all from me. Thank you for listening, and please come back tomorrow to find out what happens next.